Welcome back to another episode of Too Much Pod, to our DFS episode again. As always, for the last few days we've been doing this. I'm back with Joey Ricotta as we go down some of our favorite picks for today's slate, which is 7:05 Eastern Time. 13 games on the slate, so there's a pretty large slate, and there's a lot of different routes you can go as far as pitchers go, as far as like you can find a lot of good value out of some of the guys. So there's obviously as always a lot of good options for stack as well. So let's get a rolling here with some pitchers to start off. Of course, you got the guys at the top, the two aces in New York, Garrett Cole and Jacob deGrom. Those are always solid options, but you don't have to pay up for them either, because there's other guys. It's kind of like if you go down the line here, there's a lot of good guys. You can potentially get a lot of good value out of them. Like my favorite value pick is Frankie Montas of the A's. He's at 8,400, and he's been pitching and really impressive so far. And the matchup is against the Giants, which is a really good matchup. So far, he's had a 22-9 K to walk rate. He's given up just four runs, 14 hits, in 23 innings pitched. That was over 4 starts. And a even 1 WHIP and 175 batting average against. And he hasn't been hit hard either, just a 20.3 hard hit percentage, which is in the 92nd percentile. 290 expected slugging as well, and 221 WOBA. So he's been awesome so far. I was really high on him coming into the year, so he's been proving me right on that part, and I think he'll do really good, rack up more strikeouts in this game against those Giants, who's as we mentioned like a couple times already during these doing these pods about the Giants offense not being good at all. So definitely a good matchup.
Yeah, definitely. I love Montas today too. Yeah, the Giants, nothing really. They don't strike fear in anyone. And Montas has been rolling. Been someone who just came out and pitched really well last season, and then obviously was suspended for a little bit for PEDs, I believe.
Yeah, it was like 80. I think it was 80 games.
80 or 60, something like that. I don't know. But, yeah, the Giants, while they haven't been terrible, like in the batting average department,
yeah,
and even strikeout-wise, they are against righties. They're 21st in strikeout rate. So, I mean, as far, like, they don't strike out that much. I'm looking at it from highest to lowest K rate, but as far as like weighted on base average, they're second or seventh worst in the majors against right-handed batters. And so, I mean, and Montas just has, he has that great splitter. They had a lot of K upside there, so I really like that pick. Yeah, the pitching, like you said, you don't have to spend up for those guys like deGrom and Cole, but it'd probably be wise to get them into some lineups if you're multi-entering, or even in cash games if you want to be safe.
Right.
Well, semi-safe, I guess, because they don't have the best matchups ever. But like, I don't really like Kershaw tomorrow facing the Angels.
No.
at that price, but he can always have a good game too. Merrill Kelly's been pitching really well, but I don't like him here with all the other options on the slate. Really, from Sonny Gray, like we were talking about on Twitter, me and you, from Sonny Gray, looking at the prices on DraftKings, from him all the way down to Frankie Montas, and you could probably put Woodruff in there too.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to against the Cubs, and
No, I
I
don't.
don't see a reason why you need to go there. But we know he can be very good, so that's definitely a GPP only play.
Yeah.
But from Gray to Montez, like all those guys in there, Odorizzi, who pitched poorly against Kansas City last time, but he's still a solid pitcher and could have just been one of those games. Savali's been pretty solid going against the Tigers.
Yeah.
Lamet, huge K upside guy. He looks like a budding stud
Oh yeah,
on the mound.
definitely.
He's always good against the Brewers, and that was the guy that that's my big breakout call, who I was victory lapping after the first two starts he made. And yeah, he had a poor outing against Kansas City, but the one positive there is he didn't walk anybody, and he still struck out 4 in 2 1/3 innings. So it's
Yeah.
not exactly the old Chatwood walk fest.
Mm-hmm.
So I still think he could probably pitch well in this matchup. Lance Lynn in Coors. I hate attacking Coors for pitchers, but he's been terrific. So that's a GPP play.
Mm-hmm.
And then you mentioned Montas. Framber Valdez is very interesting. He's been lights out.
Yeah.
And going up against Seattle, I know they have a lot of righties in that lineup, but I don't know if he's going to be a huge K guy going forward. He's struck out 9 and struck out 8 his last 2 starts, but he's probably going to be more of a pitch to contact type of guy moving forward. But this is a good opportunity for him to possibly do both again, and I like that a lot. I don't know if I'd do it in cash, but I like that. Then another guy that we talked about, Spencer Howard. He's only 4K, and
Yeah.
this will be only his second outing in the bigs. And Velasquez, they were kind of. It looked like they were going to piggyback off of each other, especially like what they did the first time. I believe they did the same thing, but it looks like Velasquez pitched today a little bit. He had to come in the game, so
Yeah.
Howard's just going to get that start. And at 4K, a prospect like him, I mean, pitchers struggle a lot of times when they first get the call, but he's got upside. I mean, at 4K, I'd do it to stack up some tournaments.
Yeah, I would definitely do that too. I mean, that price just has so much. Like, you can get a lot of solid value from that, especially against the Mets lineup, who has DeGrom on the hill. So, I mean,
Oh yeah,
so the way that they don't give him much run support.
yeah. I mean, and you can honestly, it sounds crazy because normally you want the upside of the win or the
Yeah.
lock of the win. But you could put them together in the same lineup
Mm-hmm.
because you're going to get the hope is you'll get enough strikeouts from both. And if they both limit the damage or pitch good games, it won't matter if you just get a win on one of the sides.
All right.
That's kind of a safe floor play too. Like one of them will probably get the win.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really not that bad of a strategy.
Oh. But it's with DeGrom, he's not going to finish. He's not going to finish 1-4 or whatever. He actually did get a second win now, so
Yeah. Yeah, and he's sitting at 2-0. It's pretty solid
yeah.
only 4 starts so far.
He's got a .96 WHIP so far.
Yeah, he's the best pitcher on the planet right now. I mean, Cole's great too, but
He's been off to like a slower start, but obviously he's still solid, but which is like kind of scary because he's not even at like his full self yet.
yeah, exactly. Those guys are neck and neck for best pitcher. You can really flip a coin as to who's going to be the best on which day, and pitching on the same slate together, so it makes it even more tricky.
Yeah, it's the second. I think it's the second time this year they both pitched on the same day.
Yeah, probably was the opening day or no?
It was.
Opening night. No, Yankees played the opening night, right? And then
I think it was like. I think it might have been the last time around the rotation for both of them.
oh, okay.
Or maybe the one before that. I don't know, something like that. Or no, both only have 3 starts. So I mean, yeah. So it was the last time. Or not 4 starts. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say DeGrom has 4.
Yeah.
Cold up. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you with the way like you said with, from Gray to Montez, you can really go with anybody in there for solid options. And I'm probably gonna. I don't know. I don't know if I guess I would maybe a lineup or 2 pair DeGrom and Cole together, but I think some lineups I might just go with one or the other with somebody else, like we talked about with Montez or Chatwood or Lamet, somebody like that. Like I don't know if I want to pay up for both of them, but pairing them with somebody else that we talked about would be a good play, I think.
Yeah. Or like if you wanted to stick in that mid-range kind of type of area, I mean, like if you want to do like a Montaz and a Lamet or Montaz and I mean, Chatwood sounds like the ugliest name of this bunch, or like him and Valdez, Savali, like Odorizzi, like I feel like guys are not going to want to play those guys with the other names on this slate,
Yeah.
and that's where I feel like you might be able to get an advantage if they come out and have very strong games because, I mean, it's well within their capabilities. I mean, we've seen it, and especially with Chatwood putting up 28.5 points against Milwaukee and 38 points against Pittsburgh,
Mm.
and Savali, he had a 26.7 point outing against the Sox and no less than 20 points in any of his outings.
Yeah.
So there's some different routes that you could take, and it definitely looks like I mean, you could play cash on this slate for sure, but the pitching side of things, I think it's a very interesting GPP type of day. Like you can get very funky,
Yeah.
and I'm willing to bet that one of the GPP the takedowns will be from one of those odd names that people just don't want to
Oh yeah.
like the shock value, not shock value names, but it's like names that you wouldn't normally roster when you have as many stud and big names that we have going like tonight.
Right. Yeah, that's for the pitchers though. We can start going into some hitters. I'll name a couple that I like. The one sticking to the A's, I like Matt Chapman for 5,300 against Johnny Cueto. and the Giants. And so far this season, he's slashing 305, 615, 920, 6 home runs, and all 6 of his home runs are against right-handers. And 51.9% hard hit rate, so he's absolutely mashing the ball. 21.2 barrel percentage, 95 mile per hour exit velocity, 641 expected slugging. So he's been really solid so far. And last year he had 25 home runs against right-handers, 848 OPS. So I think he's a guy you can see potentially have a home run in this game against Cueto. You know, Cueto's been okay, but he's obviously not he's not as the pitcher he was before, like when he was with the Reds and all that. And then I also like Jorge Soler. He's a solid kind of more of a value guy. The 4,300 against Odorizzi. He's 2 for 4 against Odorizzi with 1 home run in his career, and he had 2 home runs against the Twins the last time they played, which was just last week. So he can definitely mash the Twins and do that. He definitely has a chance to do that again. And 39 of his 41 home runs were against right-handers last year. So, yeah, he's another guy that mashes right-handers. Definitely a solid kind of a value guy there with the lower amount of money that he's worth. You know, 1,000 less than Chapman is. Let's see. I also had Derek Dietrich is another kind of guy there at 4,200, just a little bit below. He was signed a minor league deal with the Rangers just a couple days ago. Made his debut, and he went 3 for 3 in his debut with the Rangers. So he's a guy who can have put up good numbers there against the Mariners. I mean, not the Mariners, against the Rockies in Colorado. So I like that potential for him. I mean, I always liked him when he was with the Reds. Just his, his swagger. I really always enjoyed. So I was glad to see he got another deal with the team.
Yeah, he's fun to watch, huh? I like the way he carries himself. It's entertaining as all hell.
Yeah, I loved last year when the Reds wore those like tank top uniforms, and he was
Yeah.
showing off.
Yeah, and he's got those chains and stuff, and
Yeah.
yeah, he's cool to watch.
Yeah, so those were some of my picks I had. I like those guys.
Yeah, I could see that those guys paying off. The main guy that I like is Jesse Winker.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Chad Kuhl. I'm not a huge believer in Chad Kuhl. Winker has been on fire lately. He's rolling. He's absolutely rolling. He's got multi-hit games in his last 4. A combined 9 for, let's see, 9 for his last 13 with 3 bombs, 2 doubles, 2 walks, and 4 RBIs. And he's added a stolen base in there. So he's smashing right now. And he's only 3.6K. And I think he's in a pretty damn good spot here against Chad Kuhl. I thought I saw some weather concerns for that game, so I would recheck that. I'm not sure how serious it was, but it looked like I saw something there. But yeah, no, this is a spot where he can do more damage. I think I like him to stay hot, and especially at that price, I think he can pay off for you in the outfield. Let's see. You say Kikuchi's been pretty hit or miss. Miss a lot last year, and I hate that we have to play the Astros. But I think it's like the anti-play because a lot of people aren't trying to play them right now because of everything that's happened.
Yeah.
But they still have so much talent that it's like, they're not gonna. You can't just overlook them every night just because you dislike them. Especially if you're trying to make money. I mean, they're so right-handed heavy, and they're still so talented. Even though like guys like Altuve have really struggled so far this year, but they don't strike out versus left-handed pitching. And Kikuchi allowed, what was it, 36 bombs last year? I mean, it's a pretty damn high rate.
Yeah.
That he was giving up bombs. And most of those were against righties. 28 of them were against right-handed batters. So the 304 average, righties are hitting 304 against them last year, and 374 WOBA. We know the Astros really can hit some left-handers. I think this is a great spot for them. I think Altuve, the rest of the guys get it going here that aren't hitting so well to start the year, but I guess I don't have a single play. Let me see. Could point one out though. You could go with any of them. I like them as a stack. I guess I'm a little bit early because we haven't started talking about stacks yet. But I do like them as a stack here. And I guess Yuli Gurriel is pretty interesting because he's only 4,600. And he's at 254 on the year, and Kikuchi hasn't allowed a homer yet this year, so I think that changes. But I'm not saying I don't know if Gurriel will hit one, but it's in a good spot, so I don't mind that play at all.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, as much as I hate the Astros, I can't argue with
that. Yeah, trust me, I'm not an Astros supporter or not pitying them by any means because I don't feel bad for any of the backlash that they've received from this whole thing.
Well,
But I'll definitely, if people aren't going to play them, I will because I just want to win, at the end of the day.
Yeah, I guess since you already started kind of stacks, we'll roll into that and do some of that quickly. Try to wrap this up here. Probably cap it at like a half hour. We're almost there now, so might as well roll through these quick. Some of the stacks I like. Of course, Yankees is always a good one, but they're facing a Red Sox pitching staff who gave up 17 runs against the Rays, which is, you don't have to say much about that to know that's terrible. But yeah, the pitching, and they're also going with Brazier as the opener, and then Colton Brewer as the long reliever. So they're not even throwing an actual starter out there, and I just think the Yankees are going to be able to pounce on them early and give them a lot of trouble, which of course is probably going to be a pretty much a chalk stack. A lot of people are going to be using. It's going to be a high draft percentage there for a lot of the guys in their lineup. So I think you may just need to check how much they're being used in anything you do. So, but they're always a good one to use, even no matter what. Then another one is the Twins versus Jacob Junis, who they hit 2 home runs against him the last time they faced him just a week ago, as I mentioned before. 4 2/3 innings he pitched that start. So they got some big boppers in the lineup, of course, so they could definitely pounce on him. And guys like Miguel Sano, who's kind of off to a slow start, but I think he can start finding it here soon. And a lot of the other guys, like even my mind just went blank for a second. It's too late for this. Oh, Brian Buxton is another guy that you can go there. He's cheap there's 3,500. He had 2 home runs the other night against the Brewers. So, he's a good value guy if you want to roll with him, because he's surprised he's still that cheap even after he's been hitting like very well so far. He's got 5 home runs overall. 298 average, 944 OPS. So not a bad play with him. I mean, 3,500 is like dirt cheap. So
yeah, I mean, and those last 2 games really upped a lot of his numbers.
Yeah,
because he was combined 6 for 9. So but he's probably just getting hot here, and he's got Jack in a bag upside.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you definitely take that with a stolen base and a home run. That's a heck of a day right there.
Definitely. And of course, you also got Eddie Rosario, who had 2 home runs a couple days ago as well. He's getting hot too. Looks like the same thing. Kind of wasn't starting off too well, but now he's starting to get finding a little bit. Max Kepler, Jorge Blanco, some of those guys in there. And of Nelson Cruz, he's the most expensive one at 5,300, but he's a solid guy to pay up for.
Yeah.
So
think about how scary this lineup's going to be when Donaldson's playing again.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. When is he supposed to come back anyway?
I'm not sure. Doesn't sound like he's going to come back when he's eligible to come off the IL. It's from what it sounds like, but I don't know. He's not really doing a whole lot from the reports that I see so far to getting back to playing. But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait for that addition to the stack for a little bit. But they're a scary lineup, and I like all the guys you mentioned. And even a guy like Jake Cave, if he cracks the lineup, he hasn't hit a ton this year, but he has power. And if he's hitting like 9th, which he's normally at like towards the end of the lineup, 8 or 9, like using him as a one-off or like a wraparound type of stack, because I could see Junis letting up a little bit, like, oh, this might be where the easy out is, and Cave can make you pay, and he's pretty cheap.
Yeah, Cave, what's he at? Yeah, he's at 3,300, so on DraftKings. Yeah, of course, all the pricing I've mentioned is on DraftKings. we pretty much always look at DraftKings for our why did that word just escape me again?
Pricing? I don't know. Well, I mean, you can mention the other site's pricing though too, because I mean, I know. Trying to look at some of the guys you mentioned. Let's see. I'm looking for pricing. I can't find it right now. Will not load. All right. When you need it, doesn't want to show. Let's see. Daily lineups. And pricing. While I do that, you could finish your thought, though. It might take me a second.
I was just looking, and yeah, Donaldson isn't even like back to he hasn't been going up to full speed yet. He's been running a little bit, but not sprinting yet. So he's probably a little bit farther away. Like might end up being like 2 weeks or something. I don't know, which is a long time for a 60-game season. So, but I mean, as long as they have playoffs, they'll be like scared. They'll be really scared in the playoffs with him.
Yeah, and the great thing about them is they really don't need him to get by on a day-to-day basis, but with him, I mean, yeah, they're very much a nightmare matchup for anybody they face, and they pretty much already are, So that's what's like ridiculous if you add him in a couple weeks or so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then like not to get away from the DFS, but they're just like their pitching staff was the one question mark, and they've been the addition of Maeda was really solid. He's been great so far, and their bullpen's good. So
yeah,
and Dobnak's been doing good too. So
yeah, Dobnak, he's really flown under the radar. Pitching very solidly this early on in the season.
Yeah, he's come a long way from an Uber driver.
Yeah, I'd say. I can't get the pricing to load for whatever reason, so I would just have to continue to go off of DraftKings pricing, which sucks. I mean, obviously we both play more on DraftKings, but I'd like to have the other sites listed here and mentioned for people that are playing on the other sites, because generally we try to put together good plays players that'll be good plays on both sides and price efficient for people that are on those sites, because everybody has their personal preference, and then some guys just play on both all the time. So, or other sites like Yahoo and you name the rest of them.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I didn't really look into stacks much. I don't know. I didn't really see much others. Well, you could always go with the Dodgers against the Angels.
yeah, honestly, I think it's really just going to be because there's not like the stacks today that are like super chalk. Like you'll have the Yankees be chalk, probably the Twins. You'll have, I could see the Reds maybe picking up steam. The maybe Cleveland against Nova, even though they're not really that cheap. I don't know. Oh, definitely Coors Field will be popular. It always is.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel like that one you can more people would probably go for the Rockies, but if you can even go the other way with the Rangers.
What's that? Yeah, I think more people will probably play the Rangers in that spot because of the pitching matchup with Lance Lynn pitching.
Yeah.
So
True.
maybe Colorado would be the
Yeah.
best way to go to get away from the ownership, maybe. But yeah, I think that's going to be like a winning tournament lineup or stack will probably feature a team that isn't in the best matchup today. I mean, it's generally the case, like it's an ownership game, but it's going to be like one of these decent pitchers that we feel are in a good spot that probably blows up like DeSclafani or Disco Tony tonight or yesterday, which is absolutely terrible.
Yeah, that pissed me so much off. Ugh.
Yeah.
I was like raving him yesterday, and then all of a sudden,
Well, I thought he was in a good spot too. Well, yeah, not to be the case, or it was not to be.
9 runs and 2 innings. Ugh. He's getting
Yeah,
hit
he
hard.
wasn't very.
Like he gave up like 10 hits on like 106 or 100 plus exit velocity or something.
Yeah, not good at all. Oh yeah, but I mentioned my stack. I really like Houston against Kikuchi because Kikuchi has some name value and guys like the potential on him. I see it, and I mean, but he's very boom or bust, and for whatever reason, well, not whatever reason, I think we know the reason, but people do not want to play Houston that much. So with a big slate like this, facing a lefty like him who gave up a lot of bombs last year, I like it personally. And they're at home. Yeah, give me Houston tomorrow.
Yeah. Why not? Well, I think we're pretty much set here. Gave
Yeah.
all of our stuff, all of our picks for pitchers, hitters, and stacks. So,
Did you pick a home run call?
I didn't, but let's see. Now I have to think. Do you have one?
Do I have one? You're saying?
Yeah, because I don't know.
I didn't have one off the top of my head, but let me look here. Come up with one real fast.
I'm trying.
I think. Well, I mean, if I was sticking with my picks, I could go with Jesse Winker. I think he's got a good shot to go yard. But I think the guy who's swinging the bat confidently right now, I mean, obviously Winker is, but Ian Happ was hitting from the right side tonight for the most part. He was 2 for 3 with a run, an RBI, a double. But he'll be switched around to bat from the left side against Woodruff tomorrow. It's 3.3K, sitting 302. I believe. Let me check that. No, he said 326 with a 1.065 OPS. Give me Ian Happ. I'm going to go Homer. Ian Happ and Homer because I'm a Cubs fan.
Ian Happ run, and it's Ian Happ homer and a homer pick.
Yep, and I will be very happy.
Oh.
Like?
Let me see. I'm about to go crazy right here. I'm gonna go with JD Martinez off of Cole.
That is crazy, but
I mean, he had
I
a
could see it.
grand slam on Wednesday for his second home run of the year.
So it's only about time before he starts really smashing, right?
Yeah. Doesn't mean the Red Sox are going to win, but this means he's going to have fun.
Yeah, even a solo shot. You got the call right.
Yeah. Doesn't matter if it's just one run,
Yeah.
That's it. That's going to be all that's all Cole's going to give up. It's going to be I don't know why I'm going with the score prediction, but I'm going to say it's going to be 7-1 Yanks on that home, and that's all the Red Sox get.
All right. There we go. Somebody put some money on that. 7-1 Yanks. JD Martinez solo shot off of Cole. Cole's 7 innings strong, 9 strikeouts, 1 walk, 5 hits.
Ooh, I like that.
That was a lot.
I like it.
Now you make me sound like the Yankees fan.
Well, yeah. Trying to make you come over to the Yankees.
Come over to the dark side.
Yeah. But anyway,
that ain't happening. All right.
No.
Well, I just can't leave the Cubs.
But I think that's about wraps it up here.
Yep.
We went far. We went longer than we thought. Again, I mean, I'm not surprised.
I knew that'd be the case. I'm not surprised at all.
But yeah, hopefully you guys win some money on this wonderful Friday. So it's the weekend. Have a good weekend. Hopefully, if you win some money, go celebrate. But don't celebrate too hard. Obviously, keep social distance and don't touch your face. Wash your hands. So make sure you keep doing all the stuff you're doing and get this virus under control. And, if you want football at any point and any time, definitely do that. If you want to actually go to the games too. So I know I want to. I know everybody does. So
yeah, be smart.
Yeah. You could never have too much pod tar. We'll be back again tomorrow with another brand new DFS show for Saturday's slate. And yeah, peace out.
Later.